Morning. Morning. Hi. Good. You see Ariana first?
Yep, she's right there in 94.
Ariana. Hey, Ariana. Come on out here. Let me talk to you for a second. A couple chairs here. Have a seat. How are you?
Fine.
Okay, my name is Don Wruck. I'm the attorney who's been asked to represent you for today's court hearing, okay? How's it been going back there?
Oh, bad. My arm hurt.
From what?
From these handcuffs.
All right. Your mom's here. Today's hearing is a detention hearing. The court's going to want to know whether to let you stay here or whether you should go home. What are your thoughts on that?
I just want to go home.
All right. Your mom says that you're in school. You're going to Calamari Academy. How's that going?
It's going good.
All right. All right. One of the things that the court's going to be interested in is whether or not, if you're released today, whether you're going to repeat the same type of behavior that landed you here. And it sounds like there's some anger issues or things like that that are probably going to give the court some concern as to whether or not it's okay that you go home. Is that something that's a problem? You ever had any issues like that, you know, where your anger's come out before? I know you had one prior incident, right? Okay, how is this different?
I don't know. I still don't. I don't understand why I'm in here.
Okay.
Like, I know what happened, but I just don't understand why.
You don't need me to explain to you why you're in here. You understand. You just don't think it's right.
Yeah, I just don't think that was right.
Okay. Tell me what happened.
I had went to the school. I was supposed to be with my mom and my brothers, and my mom had left, told us she was gonna come back. She had to drop off her boyfriend. Then we went to go get our tickets. They told us, if you don't got an ID, you gotta go to the end of the line.
Tickets for what?
Tickets for the football game.
Okay.
So we was walking to the end of the line, and the principal came up to me, and she was like, well, you don't go to the school no more, so you gotta either leave or you gotta go to the opposite side.
So the principal recognized you, saw that you were a former student, that you don't go to that school anymore, and despite you having a ticket and standing in line, asked you to leave. That's what started it?
Yeah.
Okay. And your mom wasn't there at the time. She was taking her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my brothers had already had their tickets, so I told them to go in and wait for me. So they asked me to leave, and they had the police take me down to the end of the gate. So then I called my mom. I told her what happened, and she just told me to get my brothers. So and she'll come back and we was gonna leave. So
Were you acting out at this point? Were you angry? Were you throwing punches at people or anything?
No, we wasn't bothering nobody. They I asked them to call them. They wouldn't call them. I couldn't go in to find them. They only like 10 and 11. They ain't had no phone and nobody with them. I couldn't find where they had went. So I seen my brother. I told him to come in to the gate. And once he got to the gate, that's when the police officer came over there. He was like, well, we asked you to leave, so you gotta leave. I was like, okay, well, let me get my brother. And then he was like, no, you need to leave now. And then I was like, okay, let me just get him out. And he was like, no, you need to leave now. So me and my friend started walking down the street, and he started following us. And then he told me I was walking too slow, so we started walking faster.
Who told you that?
The police officer.
Said you were walking too slow?
Yeah, he was following behind us. He told us we was walking too slow, so we started walking faster. And I turned around and I seen my brother. He was trying to run to catch up with us. So I had stopped. And my brother was running. And then he asked for, he just said, what's your name? And I thought he was talking to the girl next to me because she answered him. Then my brother came up and the police officer grabbed me. He said, I asked you what your name was. And then my brother starts yelling for him to let me go. So I'm trying to push my brother back. My brother's crying and screaming. I'm trying to push him back. And the police officer shouting in my ear, I said, what's your name? I'm trying to get my brother back so he don't take him too. So finally I pushed my brother all the way back, and the girl grabs him. And the man, he put the cuffs on, and he took me to the police car.
So that's the whole story? Okay. Anything you're not telling me about it, or is that it? I don't want to have any surprises in there that come up.
That's it.
All right, well, they're charging you with disorderly conduct. Today's hearing is going to decide, again, whether you stay here, whether you go home while these charges against you continue to pend. So in order for us to make that happen, to allow the court to release you, I need you to really be open and frank and conversational with the court. I need the court to hear from you that this is something that's not going to happen again. Do you have any questions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll see you in there in a few minutes. You'll probably head back to the cell there. Yep. All right. Is it Michael Shane? Michael Shane. Where's he at?
Right here.
Okay.
Mr. Shane, please. Have a seat. The chairs here. Your attorney would like to speak with you.
Hey, how are you? Have a seat. I'm Don Wruck. I've been asked by the court to represent you for today's court hearing.
Okay.
I've talked to your mother.
Mm-hmm.
She's here today.
Okay.
Do you understand what the purpose of today's court hearing is?
Could you explain to me?
Absolutely. You're being charged with burglary. Serious charge, particularly given that you've got a prior charge for burglary that you're on probation for. The purpose of today's court hearing is not to try you on the merits of the charge, meaning we're not going to go in there and find whether you're guilty or innocent of the charge of burglary. The purpose of today's court hearing is whether you stay here while these charges against you pend, or whether you're released to your mother's custody, subject to you returning here for all future court proceedings. Now, the things that the court looks at in making its decision are going to be whether you're a threat to yourself or to the public, and whether or not you're likely to return to all future court hearings. If the court finds that you're a threat or that you're not going to return, you're going to stay locked up here like a lot of the people I'm sure you've been talking with over the last couple of days. What do you think should happen?
I think I should be released on house arrest because I have a job. I'm working right now.
You're working at Wendy's?
Yes, on 45th and Kennedy.
How many hours do you work a week?
25 to 30.
All right. You're getting your GED?
Yes, I
Are
am.
you actively pursuing that, or is that something that...
My mother has to enroll me, but when I do, I will be actively pursuing it.
When were you last in school?
Last semester, last school year.
Okay. And what grade did you complete?
The last grade I completed was my freshman year.
Okay.
That was my GED though. The last grade I completed was my freshman, but I was in school last year to get my GED.
Okay. Now, tell me about what happened.
About a month ago, I came back from my orientation. It was my first day at work at orientation, and that night it was the carnival had opened, and I went home. I got something to eat, and then I left and I went to my friend's house on the corner because he lives like a couple houses down. I had my bike, and I went over there, and we were hanging out. Then I took his girlfriend to the carnival because she wanted to go. Then we just chilled there till it closed. Then I got dropped off like in front of my house, and I went to go pick up my bike. And when I was picking my bike, his father, he told me, he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm picking up my bike." He saw me picking it up, and I just rode off. Then I went home.
So whose bike was it?
My bike.
So you're arrested for burglary for taking your own bike?
No, burglary, they say, it's probable cause that they're trying to get me.
I see, okay. That allegedly happened on a different date.
Yeah, because they called the next day, but my mom's like, for questioning, my mom said they're not gonna bring me in because, I didn't do nothing. So I didn't think of anything until a month later, Friday. They called, my sister, had an altercation with her boyfriend. And so they called the police, and then when they came, the detective came too, and they arrested me.
Okay.
Saying for probable cause.
So you know nothing about the burglary?
I know nothing about the burglary.
Okay, you don't know who did it or anything like that?
No.
All right. Because certainly what complicates this whole picture is if this were the first time you'd ever been involved with the system,
It would have been nothing.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier to say, look, it's a misunderstanding. There's no way in the world that this could have happened to you. But we lose that argument given the fact that you're on probation for burglary.
It's past history.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can't go in there and say this is something that Michael never is capable of doing. He's not capable of doing this. We lose that argument, okay? So we've got to go in there and say, yes, this happened in the past, but this time, this is something he had nothing to do with. It's not as strong of an argument So it is going to be a bit of an uphill battle to show the court that if the judge releases you, that you're not going to engage in the same type of behavior. Now, like you suggested, maybe house arrest or having restrictions is something we can suggest. And I think if you can offer that, even say, Judge, I'm willing to to demonstrate my commitment to staying out of trouble, comply with whatever restrictions the court feels necessary.
Because I was doing good before everything. I had a job. I was getting ready to go back to school. So I'm just hoping they take that into consideration.
We have to let the judge know that and make it so she does take it into consideration. So a lot of that's going to fall on you and how well you come across. And
I'm going to talk right now when they get me?
Absolutely. I'm going to call you as a witness, you and your mother.
Okay.
And the prosecutor's going to be there, and she's going to drill you with questions too. So be, like I say, composed. Don't argue. Just talk like we're just talking right now.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No any questions. No
Okay. Well, let's try and get you out of here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hang tight for a little bit.
Go back to me.
Yep.
You need your court kits too?
Which ones?
Do you want to speak to your court
I
kits
suppose so.
also?
Yeah. I could probably just talk with them in there.
Would you like both the brothers together or individually?
I suppose so.
Together?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Purtle, Mr. Gant, out here so you can speak to your attorney, please.
Hey guys. How's it going? Good. Why don't we just, why don't you guys just both stand up here. I'm only going to talk to you for a couple of seconds, but how have things been going in here?
Okay.
Okay. It doesn't look like your mom's here. I don't know if you guys heard from her at all? Okay. All right. Doesn't look like your mom's here. The evaluations that you had done with Dr. Wruck have come back. Okay. And the recommendations are that you guys be taken out of here, but placed in some type of therapeutic place to get some help.
So we're going home?
Not necessarily going home. I mean, we're going to see if that's still a possibility, but I think that you guys are going to be out of here. But it might be in some type of placement where it's not jail like this, but it's to get you guys help. The psychological evaluations came back and said that you guys are basically good guys, but there's not the education and the structure of your house right now that you guys need to thrive and stay out of trouble. So that's going to carry a lot of weight with the court. Okay, we're still going to go in there. I'm still going to present the case again, but particularly if your mom's not here and really, in a position to provide all those services, and truthfully, I don't think that she is. That the court's going to find that that's the best thing for both of you. But I'm not guaranteeing you guys are getting out of here today because it's still up to the judge. But in light of that psychological report, we're going to be making a strong argument that you guys leave here. The question is going to be, do you go back just to your house with no restrictions, or do you go into some type of placement where there's all sorts of help for you guys? So that's the update. All right? Okay, do you have any questions?
You call my sister, you get in contact with my mom?
We've tried. Yeah, we've tried. I mean, and maybe she'll end up coming in. Maybe she's just running late. What I'm telling you guys is I'm not saying that if your mom was here, you guys would be going home. I don't think that even that's the case. I just truthfully don't think she's in a position where she can come and say, yes, I'm going to be in a position to provide all these services. We heard her testify last time, all that she's got going on, trying to just keep the household together. The evaluation says you guys need, various help. And I don't know that even if she was here, she'd be able to convince the court that she can provide all of that help. Do you understand what I'm saying? So don't think that if she's not here, that means that you would have gone home if she was here. That's not what I'm saying. I just wanted you guys to know that so you don't.
I know that. I just want her to be here. So.
Okay. Well, we'll either way, even if she's not, I will get in contact with her after today. Okay. Let her know. I'll let her know where you're going, what the plan is, and all of those things. How's it been going back here the last couple of weeks? Losing your mind? That's usually what we hear. It's frustrating, Okay. Okay. Well, hang in there. We'll be going in sometime this morning.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. Oh. You don't have to. But I don't know. Sorry. You good? You gotta stay cool. Okay? You all right? Me too. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Come on, your attorney wants to speak to you. You're gonna come back into the holding cell. Just step out. That's up to you.
Hey, Morris. Good, how are you doing? What are you holding there? It's just, oh, okay. Okay, how's it been going here?
It's going good.
All right, what have you been doing?
Relaxing.
Playing cards?
Yeah, watching TV, playing cards.
All right. Have you talked to your mom lately?
Yes.
What's up with her?
Doing better. She want me to come home.
Okay, now you remember what happened last time when I went into court?
Yeah.
What's changed now?
A lot been changing. I've been working on my anger. And me and my mom getting better. I've been seeing my dad too.
Okay, because last time your mom, I don't think, was really convincing that, you know, you could come home and she'd be able to supervise you.
No, she was, but she just didn't know what to do. Now she got it all down pat now.
Okay. I'm going to talk with the prosecutor this morning, see if we can't get a result, a plea agreement that at least gets you out of here, all right? I'll let you know in a little while what the outcome of that is, and I'll give you my recommendation as to what I think that we should do. But you're okay entering into some type of plea where you admit to one of the charges if they dismiss the other if you go home? Is that something you'd be interested in at least exploring?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to wrap the whole thing up for you today if we can, rather than, you know, wait for a trial.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll talk with the prosecutor this morning and see if we can come to some type of agreement.
All right, make sure you read that too.
I will. Okay, Morris, hang in there. See you in a little bit. Thanks.
What's that? Because you're jacking around. I told you that.
I just want to sit down and sit over.
All right, get on the wall.
No, I need Kimiata. Where's she at? Where's Kimiata? Okay. Let me come talk to her. Hi, Kimiata. Is there room to sit down? Yeah, not really. Why don't you come on out here? I'll talk to you out here.
Have a seat.
You have a seat here. All right. You know, in court today, we heard both from your mom and we heard also from your stepdad. And your stepdad talked a lot about, I think, you know, his desire to have you come home with some restrictions. Unfortunately, your mom decided that that wouldn't be in your best interest. She made the decision that you need to have outside placement, at least for the time being. So the court's order that you be placed at the alternative house in Gary is going to go into effect today at 4 o'clock tonight. Okay? Do you have any questions about that?
How long I'm going to be up in there?
Well, the court didn't say how long, but at least for the time being. I mean, there's no, the court didn't put an end date in place, so until maybe some counseling and things can take place between you and your mother, you know, while you're still underage, if you can't go to your mother, you're going to have to be in placement.
Oh, well. Stuff crazy. So did she say how long she wanted me up in there?
Your mom?
Yeah.
No. Your mom said that you need a lot of structure right now and that your history of breaking the rules is something that's not likely to change. And she thinks it'll do you good in the long run to learn your lesson this way.
Because with my dad, he was trying to give me some other alternative because I already been in placement before and I ran from placement. But ain't no use to me running now because I'm about to be 18 in 3 months. And what's the use to me running? I ain't doing anything wrong. So that's all I want to know is how long I'm going to be up in there. That's the only thing.
What do you want me to tell your mom?
How long I'm going to be up in there. And if she going to put me in an alternative house, then I need my stuff. And she don't have none of Kamaya's stuff I do. She don't have my birth certificates, my Medicaid card. She don't have nothing.
Well, I think what's going to happen probably is the court would, I mean, would you want your mom to take over custody of your daughter?
No. No. I want custody of my daughter. No.
While you're in placement, do you think that that's what you want?
Yes, I'm going to still have custody of my daughter. I don't want nobody else having custody of my child. Because that's my child, nobody else's child.
And your mom included?
Yes, that's with anybody.
Okay, because your mom indicated to me that she'd be willing to do that. So
No.
I told her I would mention it to you.
Whenever I get out of the alternative house, I'm going to still have custody of my child. She will not have custody of my child. So, yes, my child can be with my mother or her father's mother, but custody, I don't think so. That is out of the picture.
Well, let me rephrase that then. While you're in placement, do you want your child to be placed with your mother temporarily until you're out of placement? Until you turn 18?
So I'm being placed until 18?
I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, if that's the case, is that what you would want for your daughter?
With my mother?
Correct.
Temporarily, she can be with my mom. But custody-wise, no. That's out of the picture. That's still my child. And I don't think I'm going to be up in placement, up in alternative house for a long time. Probably a month, probably some weeks. So custody, that's out of the picture. She can live with my mom, but my mom don't have none of her birth certificates, none of my stuff. It's at my godmama's house. All my belongings, all her stuff is at my godmama's house. All my clothes and everything.
Okay. Is there anything else you want me to tell your mom when I talk to her?
Really, no. I just want to know how long I'm going to be up in there. But she can't have custody of her. She can live with her
When they come,
until I get out of the alternative
let
house.
that cattle truck come down.
And when I get out, I know I'm going to be going back home with her, so
If she ain't
Okay.
Tracy
it
that,
don't matter.
Why do you think your mom made the decision she did?
I really don't know, really, because she could have let me come back home and, you know, house arrest or something like that. My dad didn't have a problem with it. It's just always her, all the time. So, I don't know. I just want to know how long I'm going to be up in the A house. That's all. So I know what I can do. Get my GD, that ain't no problem. And nobody got to force me, or you don't have to be court ordered to do that.
Okay. Thanks, Kimyetta. I'll keep you posted, okay?
Yep.
Okay, hang in there. Hang in there. Put back in there? Okay.
Have you always had a passion for this, or what led you to want to do that kind of work? Juveniles are different than, you know, the adult criminal justice system.
Yeah, it may be part of my, success I've had in defending juveniles is that I've never defended adults. My primary practice is a civil trial lawyer. So, my job through my private practice really is standing up for the little guy and trying to make sure that there's justice for, whatever circumstances they found themselves in. So my approach to juvenile cases, when I first began, around the time that we were filming, it was less to do probably about passion of helping kids and more to do about doing good work with what I was asked to do. And that really meant not just treating these kids as a pro bono case and another number that's kind of coming through the system, but treating each one like a client, like an individual, and doing my best to make sure that they get justice for the situation that they're in. So then as time goes on, obviously you really develop more of a passion for it, right? You develop it through the experience of doing it, where it really becomes something that you then you seek out and you want to continue doing good for them. But at the beginning, it really was just a desire to do good work and help these kids out.
What's it really like? Is there a difference between representing boys in the system and girls?
I don't think so, only in the sense that the actual issues we see tend to be the same. The trouble the kids are getting into, and maybe the boys are getting into more fighting trouble, but not. I wouldn't even say that anymore. I would think that the issues that we see are pretty equally divided between boys and girls. And I think again, since the juvenile court is looking not just at what happened, but at the home environment and all those kind of other issues, that even the way we approach them, I don't think is very dependent on what the gender is. Now, again, if it's like Kenyatta, where they have their own child and they're a parent, the sole parent of the child, well, that's obviously something we would consider it then. But no, I really don't think there's a significant difference in what we see boys versus girls coming to court for and the ultimate outcomes.
What about, let's take a little, and we'll wrap up here in a minute, but, taking a kind of behind the scenes look at what you do and how you do your job. I mean, do you have a chance to meet and talk to the prosecutor on all these cases ahead of time? Do you work with the judges behind the scenes? What's it look like behind the scenes in the juvenile court system?
Yeah, so even though Lake County's juvenile court system is extraordinarily large, I mean, hundreds of cases coming through all the time, many different players involved. We certainly do all know each other, and I think have a good working relationship. We're all kind of serving a little bit of the overall goal of trying to protect kids and make the kids better off, even the prosecutors at the juvenile court level. So I think there's a decent working relationship. Obviously, we disagree with, it's why we have trials, right? If we disagree with the prosecutor, we present our case and let the judge decide what the best outcome is. The good news is there's so many layers of people looking at these cases that I think we tend to get it right more often than not, because it's not just one person coming in and deciding what's going to happen. We have different professionals looking at what should happen, different people weighing in, and ultimately some good advocacy on both sides. So all in all, I think the juvenile court system certainly does a good job of trying to do what it's supposed to do.
And a lot of people don't understand there are no juries in juvenile court. The judge actually has the ultimate decision, unless it's a automatic waiver case, but no juries. So you don't deal with jury trials.
Yeah, no, in juvenile court, it is a question for a judge to decide, which is probably a good thing. I mean, you're not dealing with any of the influence of people who don't deal with this day in and day out. I think it's important that the people deciding these things have a good understanding of what they're doing and the consequences of returning kids home, and the goal of rehabilitation as being a goal over punishment in juvenile court. So I think all of that lends itself toward a person who has a lot of expertise in dealing only with these kind of cases.
So final question, are there any cases in specific that have really kind of stayed with you over the years, cases that you think viewers might want to
Well, I guess what I would say is, unfortunately, what sticks with me is you really, and I personally have never really before I got into this understood or appreciated how cruel some parents can be to their children, and the things that you would see, that you hear, that happens with parents locking their kids in cages and not feeding them, and the physical abuse, the mental abuse, the fact that that goes on, and it goes on as often as it does, and we get our hands on some of those cases in juvenile court, but unfortunately with the pandemic, what has happened is a lot of the mandatory people who are supposed to report abuse and neglect, your doctors, your teachers, your counselors, weren't having the access to the children for the better part of a year and a half during the pandemic. So the number of cases where the court was called upon to try and solve some abuse and neglect problems and remove children from those environments, those cases went back down for a considerable period of time. And my fear and sleepless nights is those are just cases that weren't being caught, as opposed to cases not happening. So the short answer is, unfortunately, what the cases I remember are ones where you just unfortunately question the humanity of what some parents, things you would never do to an animal, let alone a child.
Yeah, yeah. And I know, and actually we'd love to catch up with you in the future about the work that you've done specifically with child abuse and neglect cases. Our series focused on delinquencies, but as we all know, a lot of those delinquencies started out in the child welfare system with issues of abuse and neglect at home. So that just means another interview on another day with you, Don.
Yeah, no, or the opposite. Sometimes these delinquency cases, then during the interviews, you start learning about the abuse and neglect, and it goes the other way. So they really do go hand in hand. So.
Well, we can't thank you enough for catching up with us. We've worked with you for many, many years, and look forward to working with you again in the courts in the future, now that the courts are opening back up again after the pandemic. So thanks for sharing your time, as always, and your recollections of those cases. And we look forward to interviewing you again just down the road.
All right, Karen. Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks, Don. Yeah.